job? Like what kind of jobs?
Well, like I said, the wildfires, it's got its own community. So there's tons and tons of jobs. Now on that hand crew, you have, let's see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 jobs that you could possibly. Most people are just called firefighter twos. They're just firefighters or guys with hand tools. Hand tools being, I'll use common names that people, shovels, pickaxe, things that look like rakes, stuff like that. That's what we use to dig line and dig in line. You're taking away things that can burn and digging down to bare dirt.
Yeah.
What can't burn. And so you're removing fuel to stop the fire. You got the hand crews mostly consisted of those guys, firefighter twos. So roughly a dozen guys are going to be that. You'll have 3 squad bosses. So it's structured in the military like that. You'll have squads. You'll have 3 squads, 3 squad bosses, and then you'll have an assistant crew boss and a crew boss, which would be like a platoon sergeant, platoon leader. And then in each squad, you'll have a sawyer, a guy with a chainsaw, a sawyer, a feller, whatever you want to call him. And so you'll have a guy with a chainsaw, which is actually what my position is now. And each position pays a little bit better. A firefighter is obviously going to pay the lowest. Crew boss is going to pay the most. Unless you're super qualified with a chainsaw, you could possibly be making as much, if not more, than the crew boss as a highly qualified chainsaw operator.
Oh yeah,
which I'm not there. Not there yet. I'm about midway on that scale.
How do you get highly qualified on a chainsaw?
Well, that's a big part of the fire industry, if you want to call it. It's in some ways, I guess like Boy Scouts. You have books. You have they're called task books. And each position that you want to move up, so if you say, okay, I want to be a faller or a sawyer or whatever, you open up a task book and there's a list of 30 tasks, something like that. And you have to perform those tasks usually multiple times in front of someone that's already qualified in that position. And they sign off and say, yep, he can do this. Yep. And so, it takes time. You get them signed off. And then once you've gotten proficient enough in it, somebody says, yeah, he's got all these tasks signed off. And I'm signing and saying he's good enough. He is qualified in this position, which is sometimes can be that last signature can be the hardest part. You might have every single box checked and signed, but you're not ready yet.
Right.
So they don't sign it until they think you're ready. And so you climb the ladder like that. And so the more you move up, the more tasks and skills you've done. It's mostly years time. I mean, it's just developed. Yeah. I mean, being a sawyer, a lot of people think that it's just, oh yeah, I've run a chainsaw. No, there's a lot more that you don't know. Safety is a big part of it. People think they can run a chainsaw, but you're playing with fire.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've run a chainsaw just on small trees, going out and clearing my parents' property and whatever, and had a freaking tree pop back. And I don't have any interest in going and cutting a tree that's freaking, 3 feet in diameter and getting blasted with it. And that it'll kill you.
Oh yeah. I love it, man. And sometimes you're doing stuff that's either halfway burnt or still burning. And man, it can get super sketchy.
Yeah.
I mean, live trees that are unburnt can be sketchy sometimes. I mean, depending on what it requires, where you need to put it and all that kind of stuff. And those are things that you build on in time. You work around more experienced guys that are teaching you things. You're constantly learning. I thought I knew a lot about how to operate a chainsaw until I started working with the Forest Service, and I was clueless. I was dangerous. I mean, I grew up around my dad operating. I thought he was really good with a chainsaw. And now I look back and I'm like, dude, he got lucky a lot. He really did. I mean,
yeah. Well, I think we do that a lot with a lot of different things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad used to do the same thing, and he'd be putting wedges in trees and all kinds of stuff, and to get it to fall a certain way. And
right, yeah. So there's that's the basic, but there's more. There's actually a lot more into it than that I think people don't even realize.
Right.
And those small things can be the difference of dropping it in your yard or dropping it on your roof.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why they have, tree specialists or whatever to come to your house.
Oh, that's why it costs so much. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever got a quote on a tree, to be either trimmed or completely to the ground, and you're talking well over $1,000 a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that's why it costs so much, because it's a skill, one that a lot of people don't possess. And to get insured and licensed and all those things, the people insuring you, I'm sure, have to say, yeah, this guy's pretty good. And he knows what he's doing. He hasn't just got lucky 5 or 6 times.
You would think so. I used to think this with the food truck, right? General liability insurance, and they want to make sure you're safe and they have standard questions that they ask. But like, I have $1 million insurance policy. They ask you probably 10 questions.
Yeah.
It's not I can 100% guarantee you that like my food truck runs way different than
I would think, though, to get insured to do trees, it would be more, because like, if you're not that good, they're going to have to cover when you drop it through somebody's roof and the trees in their living room. And
I'm sure there's specific insurance companies that will not cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or offer insurance to, tree clearing or land clearing.
Yeah.
It's probably a specific group, and you're probably right. And it probably is more expensive, and that's why it's more expensive to
get the trees cut.
Down off your property. Because
there's overhead. Yeah.
Yeah. That's freaking.
But I love the chainsaw operating. I mean, it's just fun to me. I enjoy it.
Yeah. You want to stay doing that?
For now, yeah. I'm gonna. So I've got my what's called Faller 2 open, or at one time it was called Faller B, but it's now 2. Anyways, yeah, I've got that open, and I'd like to finish that task book. I've got a lot of it done, but honestly, I need one more signature, and it's done. But it goes back to that: is somebody going to feel, yeah, this guy's good enough?
Right.
I think I probably need more time with it personally. I don't think I'm way off, but yeah, I need more time with it. I do want to finish that. And then from there, there's other things. So yeah, we got talking. That's how we got on this whole rabbit hole here. We were talking about other jobs. I want to move into other areas in the fire. I love hand crews, and I want to do it for a while longer, but I'm also looking to the future too of, I'm probably not going to be on hand crews for forever, know? So I want to move to other things.
So what are you looking into?
Engine boss is one that I'm not crazy about, but it's something I'll probably get qualified in, just so it's another option. Heavy equipment, engine boss being basically a brush truck. I don't know if that makes sense to someone not in fire. It's basically, they're like, they can be all various sizes, but the most common in Florida is going to be like in 550 or 5500 truck, basically flatbed with 250, 300 gallon water tank on the back. And, it's a wild and forest type firefighting apparatus. So to be an engine boss means that you're in charge of 2, 3, 4 guys on that truck, and you're assigned to that truck. It pays better than being just a firefighter, but not something that I'm super interested in.
Yeah.
Heavy equipment boss is something I'm pretty interested in, because that's how we fight a lot of fire in Florida, is with bulldozers.
That would be cool to me.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
And so out there, what you would do, I wouldn't actually be, that's pretty much a Western job, Western fire job. So I wouldn't go out there and operate a bulldozer, because totally different terrain. I can operate one here, but couldn't operate one there. Could I get it and drive it? Yes. Can I do it safely? No, because I don't know how to operate on steep terrain.
Right.
So you have guys that's what they do for a living out there, and you're just going out there and you're in charge of X amount of guys. That's a heavy equipment boss. Something I'm pretty interested in doing. That's probably one of the next jumps I want to go into. I mean, there's aviation. There's obviously supervision, all different levels of supervision. Safety guys. There's so many different ways you could go in fire.
Yeah, and I didn't, I think about it. Obviously, I understand that there's going to be like supervisors and things like that. But when I think of, I don't know, fighting a wildfire, wild and whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't picture there being different positions. I just think firefighters, or you're just jumping out, and I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of them, is supervisory roles. So I could be wrong, and I might get tongue lashed by my fellow firefighters here, but 3 to 5, I think, is ideal span of control. 3 to 5 individuals per supervisor. Any more than that, you start to become ineffective. So each person's going to be in charge of 3 to 5 people. Not that there's not more under that umbrella.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get it. 3 to 5 people that you're directly in charge of, and they might be in charge of 3 to 5 people, and so on and so on and so on. So just in a hand crew, like I said, you've got 3 squad bosses, assistant crew boss, and a crew boss. And then above them, you have division soups, you have branch directors, and then it goes up. I mean, it's like the military, a lot structured like that.
Right.
And on one fire, you can have, 3, 4, 5 different branches, and under each branch you have 3, 4, 5 different divisions. So you can imagine, and now under each division you have 3 or 4 or 5 hand crews. So now you're talking hundreds and hundreds of people under all on one fire. I mean, you'll have thousands on one fire, and then that doesn't all mean they're fire personnel. It's just like going overseas. You have thousands of people on one fob.
Right.
10% of them are going out, maybe.